Okay guys, what I just played then was a verse of Hallelujah, which is the song we're going to be breaking down today. Now this is a great song for many reasons. It's going to teach us some fingerstyle, and it's going to teach us how to count in a different way. We're normally used to 4/4 counting. This is 6/8, so we're going to be counting in groups of 6. But this picking style is also in groups of 6, so it makes it much easier to learn. Also, you should be pretty familiar with this song. You would have heard it a few times. And you'd be familiar with the song enough that you'll be able to mimic it and copy it. So what I'm going to do is I've tabbed it all out the way that I play it, which is very similar to the Jeff Buckley version. He plays it with a capo on the 6th fret. Okay, so if you want to play it and sing along with it, play it with the capo on the 6th fret. Okay, sounds a bit sweeter. All right, but today I'll be doing it in the open position, and that's how I've tabbed it out. So I'll put the tab up as we go along. But I'm going to more or less teach you how to play it with chord shapes, but the tab is there at the end of the video, so you can pause it and go through it yourself. So first I'll teach you about the counting. Okay, so the 6 count. Now how the 6 count works, pretty simple. You count to 6, but this picking style is in groups of 6. So I'll explain the picking style. I'm going to show you with my fingers. You can use a pick if you like, but I'll come in close so you can see how I do it with my fingers. Okay, all right, so what you'll see here is now we have 6 strings. Now, for the example I'm going to use, we'll be playing the E minor chord. Okay, so I'll use my thumb to play the bass note, which is the top string, and I'll use my index finger to play the 3rd string, my second finger to play the 2nd string, and my 3rd finger to play the 1st string. So assign these fingers to those strings, so that's where they'll belong. Now the pattern goes as so: bass note, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I realize I'm exaggerating there just so you can see which fingers I'm using, but that's simply put that's the way you do this 6 count strumming. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Right? So use those fingers. More fingers you use, the faster it will be. Okay. Now, as the chord changes, so with the bass notes, over an E chord, you would play the E bass note. For an A or a C or anything with a root note on the 5th string, you'd play the 5th string, but it's all in the tab. A D would be the 4th string. So it's all in the tab. You can always check that, but this is simply how the strumming works. Okay, now that you know that, let's get back to the song. All right, so that's how the picking works. Now the picking's, I think it's quite simple, but it will need a bit of practice. It's not normal to have that 4 fingers running in that little rotating pattern. So do it a few times. Practice with E minor, because you don't need to put your fingers on for E minor. It's just as if you're just practicing. Just you do that a few times, your fingers will get used to that little rolling pattern. Okay, so that's how we do our 6 count picking style. So let's start with the song. So the intro is a little different. Yes, we're still doing a 6 count, but there's going to be a little note we're throwing in there that's going to make it a little bit of a challenge for you. So I'll play it for you quickly. All right, very recognizable. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing my G chord first. Now I do a G by covering the 2 strings on the bottom. It's optional. I prefer to do that. It sounds a little bit nicer. So you can use your little finger and your ring finger to cover the bottom 2 strings. I just fold my finger like that. Whatever works for you. So we're doing the G like that. Now we do our picking style. We count to 6, right, to give our 6 count. So what we do is we're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of hitting that 6th note like we're supposed to, we're going to hit this note here, which is F sharp. It's in the tab. That's it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have to get up there real quick, play that 6th note, and then immediately go into the E minor chord. But we're going to leave those fingers on there. We do our E minor chord. Okay, so I'll show you that slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F sharp bass note, and straight into E minor for 5 again, and our 6th note will become the F sharp again. G, 2, 3, 4, 5, F sharp, E minor. Sped up. And that's how you get that sound. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change your bass note for the 6th, E minor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now once you got that, you got your intro. That happens twice, from G to E minor, G to E minor. And there's your intro. Now the rest of the song will follow that 6 count pattern that I just explained to you, that every chord will get a 6 count or a 3 count. Okay, it'll be in groups of 3s and 6s. Okay, or 12s. Sometimes you'll play a double cycle of a chord. You'll see that. That happens towards the end of the song, I think. Okay, so the intro is that G, F sharp, E minor, that little walking pattern. It's the only complicated part of the song that's out of, a bit different to what I explained at the beginning. The rest of it's quite simple. So we've done our intro. That's the first line. So I'll just scroll up here. And okay, so at the bottom of your screen, you'll see G, E minor, G, E minor. I've put the chords above the tab because that's the chord I recommend if you want to use to follow the tab. Now the next chord is C add 9. If you don't know C add 9, it's quite simple. Easiest way to learn a C add 9 is do your G, same way I showed you with that double finger at the bottom, and just shift those top two fingers down. You'll see those two fingers there look like part of a C chord anyway, and you're adding this extra note here, which is the 9th note of the C major scale, C add 9. Oops. Now this gets a 1.5 cycles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and D for half a cycle, D, 2, 3, and then G for a full cycle. I'll bring up the next section. G for a full cycle and D for a full cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, keep in mind when I play the D, I do play the bass note of D, which is the 4th string. So for an E and a G, I play the top string. So the bass notes change for the particular chord. Check your tabs before you start playing, but I'm trying to simplify it so I can get you playing this as quick as possible. So now we've done so far, I'll play what we've done so far. We've got our intro. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now C add 9 for 1.5. 1, 2, 3, D for half. G for a full. D for a full. Now the next part. Oh, sorry, we've got emails popping up. Let's get rid of that. And gone. Okay, now, so it's, okay, so now, the next part, where were we? So the next part, you get a full cycle of G and a half of C, a half of D, then a full E minor, full C, add 9. Then you get a full D. Now here comes the tricky part. This has a B chord in it. Now I play the B chord as so. Okay, now if you can't manage this B chord, because it is a little difficult, okay, I'll put a diagram of the B chord up there so you can have a quick look at it. It is a difficult chord to get, so if you're at a beginner stage and you can't do this chord, this is another shape I can recommend for you. Just use your 4th finger, little finger, on the 2nd string 4th fret. Your ring finger on the 3rd string 4th fret. Okay, so that's 2 strings taken care of. Now our first finger is going to have to cover the bottom string and the 5th string, and that will give us this shape, okay? It's a lot easier to play than a B chord, and that will get you by. And then you have to do a full cycle of this version of the B chord, and you play the 5th string first. Okay, so that'll be the most difficult change for you to get from that D to that B. Okay, now the rest of the song is quite simple. It's 2 cycles of E minor, 2 cycles of C add 9, 2 cycles of E minor, 2 of C add 9, and to finish off, 1 of G and 1 of D. And then you start again. You repeat. In between each verse, you do the intro part for twice. And that's where you would start singing, there was a secret chord, David played and it pleased the Lord, right? Okay, so between each verse you'll get 2 of those, that G to E, G to E, that little intro with that extra F sharp note. That's pretty much all there is to the song. Now the tab is all going to come up at the end of the screen. I've written it out with some basic little hidden instructions on the top and the bottom. Okay, chords are a guideline, and you repeat the whole page to do each verse. So in a way it's an easy song. It's going to take a bit of practice for you, but you'll learn how to do your 6/8 timing. Remember, counting to 6 in your head when you're starting will help. 6s and 3s. Follow the tab, it's quite easy. The chords are a suggestion for the shape. If you can think of something simpler to do, by all means do it. If you want to just press the notes of the tab, do it. But I find this is the simplest way as a beginner. Okay, if you want to play it along with the Jeff Buckley version, he plays with the capo on the 6th fret, like I said. Totally up to you. You can put the capo wherever you like to suit your style of singing, your key, whatever you can handle. Other than that, just a matter of practice. So at the end of this video, just pause it and play along with the tab if you like. Now remember, if you're new to the channel, you haven't been here before, please like and subscribe. I upload videos every week. If you have any comments or any suggestions you can think of that might improve my videos, by all means leave a comment. I always love to hear back from you guys. And if you like, I can do a video for the song that you might like, whatever. So, but feel free to contact me. I do get back to all messages. And good luck with it. Keep on playing. See you at the next video.